What the F? Crazy. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. The stream just stopped to irritate me. I guess. Trying to irritate me. The stream stopped. Hopefully people will find the stream. This has been happening. The stream has been stopping. It's really annoying. Well, I don't know. I don't know what the hell happened. It just stopped. What? Oh, God. To bother me, I guess. We were doing well. We had a lot of people in the chat room. We had a good conversation going. Thank you, Jonathan. We could hear you. You could hear me, but you couldn't see me. I have no idea. Actually, the camera looks better now, doesn't it? It's kind of strange. Maybe something was wrong. Because it was looking very weird and blown out. I don't know. Whatever. As long as we can get back to the business. The business of liberal talk. Of being on the right side of history. God. Thank you, Richard W. You didn't have to do that. Another great show. Thank you. I don't know. There's something wrong with my neck. That's why I keep doing this. I have a problem with my neck. It hurts. Like my soul. Jesus, Marion. Oh, thank you, JD. I know. Tricky, right? I don't know. It just stopped. I don't know why. I don't know. This is what's been going on. It just stopped. The stream just stopped. And this time it seemed like it was eCam. Last time the stream stopped, it was Restream. Maybe it is Restream. No, actually. It can't be Restream because that Restream was still going. It was definitely eCam. Oh, Jim. Thank you, Jim. You guys are crazy. I appreciate it, though. God. Everybody's annoying me. Not you. I mean, the stream, my own cat, my own namesake, my little junior. I love him now. I do. I love that cat. I love them all, but I just want them to get along. Doesn't every mother want her sons to get along? I'm tired of the fighting. All right. Just like I'm tired of these filthy Republicans. Wouldn't it be nice? Sometimes I dream about living in a normal country. Like, it must be nice to, for example, live in New Zealand where everybody isn't at each other's throats like this. Yeah, right? There's an overarching understanding that we're in this together. And that's supposed to be what this is. And this is why I have low hopes for the future of the country. And we've discussed it before. I keep thinking about, the last days of the Roman Republic. It took the Roman Republic 500 years to die. It was only really in the last 100 years, 150 years when, scholars trace the last days of the Roman Republic from the assassination of Tiberius Gracchus, who was a reformer who tried to save the Roman Republic from the income disparity and, from the same shit, some of the same shit that we're dealing with, the corruption. And it's, we're not even 200. Well, how old are we? 250 years old? Are we 250 years old? Wait. How old is the United States? How many years? I forget. I was only a baby back then, so. 200. We're not even 250 years old. 246 years old. And we're already this divided to the point where, you cannot have a functioning democratic republic with this kind of division. You have to fight for the a common story, a common understanding of what we're doing, what this thing is supposed to be. Well, we don't have that. We don't even have a common understanding of reality. And that's by design. And that is it is on purpose of the right wingers. They want us to be divided because the goal has always been to destroy democracy. If only the Democrats would say that, would say the quiet part out loud. I don't know what they're doing, pining for these effing fascists as if there's any hope and as if they're redeemable. They're not. Just say it, because I had hope for a second when Joe Biden said they've been, not just Joe Biden, Jen Psaki, they've asked her, anytime something happens, the right wingers are like, I thought Joe Biden was going to unite us. He said he was going to unite us, but now he's not supporting every fascist lie that comes out of our mouths, so he's dividing us. And Jen Psaki, and I think I heard Joe Biden say something similar, that we will unify around democracy. We're not unifying around a party, the policies of this fascist party. Will unify around democracy. And if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, if you're an independent, and you want to unify, if you're a supporter of democracy, we have common cause then. But we're not going to unify around a political party that is, that really needs to go the way of the Whigs, frankly, at this point. And so that gave me hope when I heard Jen Psaki say that, because I agree. Let's unify the country around democracy. And you don't unify the country by constantly enabling the right wingers. They're not capable. And Joe Biden really needs to say it. But he won't, of course. He needs to say that, yes, we will unify around democracy, but whatever this is, this Republican Party is not a small d Democratic Party. They are, I don't know. I don't know if you would say they're the domestic enemies the founders warned us about, but what the hell else are they? They have corrupted the court. And when Joe Biden goes to the American people, he needs to say that. We're not packing the court. We're trying to fix it. It's been packed. But I guess that ship has sailed in a way, because the Democrats have. It's almost as if every time they get their asses beat by the fascists, who have no qualms destroying democracy and violating norms. And that's not violating norms. You're destroying democracy. You're not crossing a line. You're wiping your ass with democracy. You're spitting on the grave of everyone who ever died for this thing. But every time they shoved another unqualified scumbag who likes beer and wants to be a handmaid on the court, the one thing they all have in common is that they have absolutely no honor, at least, in the very least. So, but every time they shoved one of these scums on the court, the Democrats, it just seems like they go, oh, well, and they start playing into the hands of the conservatives or whatever, the fascists, by not reminding the American people every time they get in front of a camera, they should say the illegitimate Amy Coney Barrett, the illegitimate Gorsuch, the illegitimate freaking I like beer. Right? Because they weren't put on the court legitimately. They were put on the court because, first of all, Barack Obama said, oh, well. That's another thing. Why didn't the Democrats fight when Moscow Mitch pulled his coup? The Democrats should have been screaming and not letting it go. You don't just go, oh, well, they fucked us. And you just like, oh, okay, Justice Gorsuch says, oh, well, he's not a justice. He's an illegitimate scumbag who participated in a coup. You know? And that's why, that's what the Democrats should have been messaging all along. You can't just pull it out of a hat now. It's like every time the Republicans pull their dirty tricks, the Democrats just go, oh, well, we were fucked, and that's the way it is. Amy Coney, resting bitch face Barrett, she couldn't wait to get her unqualified ass on the bench. She couldn't wait for Ruth Bader Ginsburg's body to be cold. Because they hate America. They hate democracy. They want more dead. They want to drag women into the back alleys. And they want the American people divided. You need this division if you want to kill democracy once and for all. So when they talked about, this is what the Democrats should have been doing all along. When Republicans say they loathe government, what they really mean is that they hate democracy. Government is the problem. Democrats should have been like, that's the government that the founders fought a revolution to create, you unpatriotic piece of shit. Uh-oh, here he comes again. Oh, okay, good. Probably went to eat. God in heaven. Oh, they're bullying. Brett Kavanaugh is not in danger. As this article from, where is this? NBC News. Look at that. Brett Kavanaugh is not in danger, unlike the abortion precedent he's ready to overturn. A vigil outside Kavanaugh's house led to a predictable pearl clutching. But a country in which the powerful can seize rights without even a nonviolent protest is not a democracy. Yeah, they don't care that they're the minority. In fact, they don't care that the American people, nobody was asking for this. Just like when Justice effing Roberts wiped his ass with the Voting Rights Act. Nobody was asking for that either. But there you go, the tyranny of the minority. And Democrats should have been hollering about it nonstop. This is illegitimate. They are illegitimate. This is the tyranny of the minority. And that's why we have to fix this court. It's not packing it. We have to fix this democracy because the Republicans are not, they don't like democracy. They're trying to drag us back to the times that the founders fought a revolution to overthrow. Oh, you don't think so? Look at their policies. Make the rich richer. Whittle away at the wall of separation between church and state. Ensure that education is a providence of the rich. These are all, it's not even Gilded Age age policies. You're talking about feudalism. They want to make sure we're all indentured servants to the banks in some form, whether you come out of school with a $100,000 loan that you can never pay off or get a job to pay off, because the Republicans want to ensure that you don't have living wages. You know, and if you do, half of it, or more than half, has to go to your fucking health care premium. And God help you if you ever need it. Because then you might have to go on GoFundMe. They don't give a shit. Oh, especially if you get pregnant. But I guess that's your fault because you're a whore and a bitch and you should be a handmaid. Oh, and as Matt Getz said, overeducated. Not like the underage girls that he Venmo'd with the you know, because he's so clever, he tagged it tuition. You know, tuition for my tiny dick, right? You pricks, you filthy, disgusting monsters. They're all a bunch of monsters. And you know what, Democrats? I don't care. Oh, you're going to unite us. Can't we all just get along? No. No, we can't. I'm sorry. I can't get along with people who want to drag me back to the dark ages. I can't get along with freaks who want to worship their sky spook. Go right ahead, but don't shove it down my throat. It's always them shoving it down our throats. They're so upset when things are shoved down their throats. Well, what is shoved down their throats? Decency, dignity, democracy, humanity, community. They can't handle that. That's shoved down their throats. When they are asked, you know, nicely to just be a decent person, be a good neighbor, shut your fucking mouth if that's the best you can do. You don't like that you live next door to somebody who's married to somebody with the same peepee? Then look away, scummy. But they can't do that. They gotta get their Jesus, their fake Jesus. I don't know what Jesus they worship. Because he sure is a scumbag. That Jesus. And if Jesus came down, like they keep promising, they'd crucify him again. You know it. Because Jesus was crucified by the conservatives. Right? Until that, what happened? A bunch of pricks got a hold of the church. That's what happened. And they turned it into another cha-ching money-making opportunity to keep people in their place. And that's why the founders were like, F this. They knew a world where church and state was intertwined. And that's not the Enlightenment, the enlightened society they were trying to create. Now, yes, I know there are a bunch of effing hypocrites. But we know baby steps. And they wrote some, when they said all men are created equal, they meant all men. But the closer we get to that more perfect union, to expanding the franchise for all, that's where when Republicans can't handle it, they freak out. They want that system back. They want the system where everybody knows their place and little beer bong Brett is at the top of the heap, screaming, I like beer and fuck you, I'm going to rape you, right? And nobody can say anything about it because it's my birthright to be on the Supreme Court. That's what these pricks act like. You know, it's their birthright. Oh, Amazon's a piece of crap company, you're saying? No, you're a piece of crap, Lindsay. Oh, no. Here we go, bully. Bully solution for you. Ray is good. Ray is good. Here he's back. He's back. Here comes the bully. Come on. You coming or not? What are you doing? Are you going to sit and be a nice little baby? Oh, help me, Lord. Well, Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all drive Porsches. I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime. No help from Republicans. So, Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? Lord, won't you buy me a color TV? Darling for dollars is trying to find me. I wait for deliverance each day until 3. Oh, Lord. All right. Won't you buy me a country without Republicans? Just a little take on an old favorite. Where was I? Oh, they're gonna divide us. I thought Joe Biden was going to unite us. I was reading something and I totally got distracted by everything. As I do. As I am wanted. Sometimes you never know. The show I'll just break out into song. A cat will come up. A cat will bite me. I'll break out in song. I don't feel like singing now, though, because my neck hurts, my soul hurts. Lauren Boebert is in the Congress. I mean, what the hell? Where do I live? Where do I... Does this happen in New Zealand? Do they have Lauren Boeberts in functioning societies? No, they don't. You realize that? They don't have complete unfit crackpots in positions of power in civilizations that don't suck. Right? I'm not kidding. It's true. I wish I was wrong. It sucks to be right. It certainly does. I lost where the thing I was reading. But let's read this instead. You want to talk about, Joe Biden isn't uniting us. That he said he was going to unite us by giving us everything we want. Every disgusting, abhorrent, divisive policy, kiss up, kick down, I got mine, sucks to be you policy. He said he was going to do it. But wait till they destroy a constitutional right. Because that's what the right to abortion was for 50 years. And then Republicans. I've had right-wingers say, where's abortion in the Constitution? This is part of Alito's scam argument that he had to go and cite a 17th century jurist, right? They'll say, there's no right to abortion, and there's a right to privacy. That's how it was read for over 50 years. And on those rights, the constitutional rights, the other rights we take for granted were expanded like the right to marry whoever the person of a same peepee or not, somebody with different pigment. Oh my God. And have contraception. That because Republicans are repressed and they're sick. They want in their demon haunted fake ass Jesus world. If you enjoy sex, you should pay. You should pay with your life if necessary, but at least pay the price by having a baby and having another child against your will, regardless of the economic factors of your life that Republicans don't want to do anything about, even though that's the primary reason somebody would have an abortion. I hate them, but I hate Democrats more in this way for not running with the truth. I don't know, like being embarrassed about being on the right side of history, decency, dignity, and democracy and humanity. It's unbelievable. Pro-life. Every time a Republican said, I'm pro-life, the Democrats should just burst out laughing. Oh, really? You're pro-life? Well, sign on to this bill that will, expand. How about the child tax credit? These scumbags. Poverty, childhood poverty in the richest country on earth. Skyrocketed back up 40%. Right after the Republicans and Joe Manchin let it expire. Let the child tax credit expire. So Republicans are clutching their pearls. Michelle Goldberg writes in the New York Times, the death of Roe is going to tear America apart. Well, that's the point. In his draft opinion overturning Roe versus Wade, Samuel Alito blamed that 1973 abortion decision for sparking a national controversy that has embittered our political culture for half a century. Yeah, that was it, right? See how wrong they are? Just because some freaks who lack the fundamental maturity to function in the type of free democratic society they can only pretend to love, just because some of these freaks haven't been educated enough to understand that women have been having abortions since there were women, period, and that the abortion rate does not go down when it's criminalized. So stop attacking abortion and start demanding that your Republican senators support the Democratic policies that actually reduce the numbers of abortions. I don't understand why that's such a hard sell, but seems to be. What was I saying? They just because these freaks can't get with modern society doesn't mean that we're in an embittered political culture for half a century, because some loud assholes like the January 6th insurrectionists, they're the minority, but they're a bunch of loud assholes and they're violent, and for some reason we all have to listen. So he says, he quoted Scalia, who is a scumbag and burning in hell, not rotting. Rotting would be a step up for him. Roe fanned into life an issue that has inflamed our national politics in general and has obscured with its smoke the selection of justices to the court in particular ever since, because you people can't function in a free democratic society. You hate You hate democracy. You hate freedom. And freedom, has to be what's the quote? The price of liberty is eternal vigilance. That's definitely apropos here. As a matter of history, the idea that Roe ignited America's culture wars is at best a distortion. The 7-2 decision was not as clearly politically divisive when it was decided as it is today. Catholics opposed it, but many conservative evangelicals did not. The Southern Baptist Convention passed a resolution calling for legal abortion in some circumstances in 1971 and then reaffirmed it in 74. As the Dartmouth historian Randall Baumer has argued, evangelical leaders didn't seize on Roe until the contemporary religious right began to coalesce at the end of the 1970s, largely in response to the IRS stripping segregated Christian schools of their tax exemptions. But even if Roe had let loose the forces ripping this country apart, its end still wouldn't bring détente. Instead, the demise of Roe will exacerbate America's antagonisms, creating more furious legal rifts between states than we've seen in modern times. If you think it's polarized now, you haven't seen anything yet, said Mary Ziegler, a visiting professor at Harvard Law School and an author of the forthcoming book, Dollars for Life, The Anti-Abortion Movement and the Fall of the Republican Establishment. Very soon, if the Supreme Court really discards Roe and Planned Parenthood v. Casey, the 1992 decision partly upholding it, we will have two wildly different abortion regimes in the country. About half the states are expected to mostly prohibit abortion. In 11 states, there won't even be exemptions for rape and incest because they love life, so much life going on there. A bill moving through the Louisiana Senate would allow prosecutors to charge those having abortions with homicide, which the Republicans already did in Texas until, I guess, they found it politically unpalatable and then dropped the charges. The scumbags. Blue states, meanwhile, are casting themselves as abortion sanctuaries. Oregon lawmakers recently passed a bill to create a $15 million fund to help cover abortion costs, including for those traveling to the state for the procedure. Something similar is in the works for California. Abortion clinics in Illinois, bordered by several states where abortion is likely to be made illegal, are preparing for a huge influx of patients. The right won't be content to watch liberal states try to undermine abortion bans, as the draft of the forthcoming article in the Columbia Law Review puts it. Overturning Roe and Casey will create a novel world of complicated interjurisdictional legal conflicts over abortion. And that's what Republicans want. You see, they want us incessantly at each other's throats for time immemorial until they can install an outright autocracy once and for all. Oh, boy. I'm not going to read the whole thing, I guess. It goes on. It's just detailing. Conservatives, of course, have a plan for reconciling clashing abortion laws, a federal abortion ban. Speaking to, because states' rights, right? Speaking to NBC News this week, Senator Kevin Cramer of North Dakota said he was concerned about women traveling across state lines to get abortions because, they're so concerned. I don't find a lot of solace in that just because it didn't happen in my state. So, yeah, I think you could expect that. Oh, wait, is this a good person? I don't know, whatever. You can think, so, yeah, I think you could expect that pro-life activists would push for federal protections. And Moscow Mitch already said so. According to the Washington Post, Joni Ernst, oh, that bitch, a Republican senator from Iowa, plans to introduce a bill to ban abortion after 6 weeks. Oh, I hate them. It won't pass as long as Democrats are in control, but at some point, there will most certainly be a Republican president and a Republican Congress. It's easy to imagine conservative activists demanding that their leaders jettison the filibuster in order to push through a national abortion ban. You better believe it. It's hard to imagine. They could do it, and then what? And then they'll bring it back. You understand? That's what they'll do. These fucking pricks. And then if Democrats ever get control again, they'll be like, oh, we have a long tradition. We'll have the likes of Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin. Will give us all these justifications. I can't take it. I can't. It's hard to imagine the Republican senators who've defended the filibuster putting procedural principle above one of their base's most cherished goals. And that's the thing. What goals do Democrats have? I know some Democrats, normal Democrats, have Bernie Sanders isn't a Democrat. He's an independent. But what can you say? Do all Democrats have the goal of universal health care, universal higher education, living wages? They could say that. But then you'll have the Democrats, they don't believe, they'll talk about access to health care. They'll talk about, what happened recently? Joe Biden did something. Joe Biden did, well, of course he did something, but what did he do? Wait, hold on. It annoyed me. Though it was good. Everybody was like, oh, this is great. But it irritated me because... I'll get to it. Because I think I sent it to myself. Let me see. Here it is. I found it. Hold on. Biden administration is capping the cost of high-speed internet for millions of Americans. Okay? President Biden announced his administration secured a commitment from 20 internet providers to cut prices for qualifying buyers. Okay. The plan, as part of the bipartisan infrastructure law, will reduce internet costs for millions of Americans. Okay. Families the plan as part of the bipartisan. See, fuck you. I'm looking at WAFB. And this is the article by Perry Robinson, who writes the plan as part of the bipartisan infrastructure law. Yeah, you got to say that, bipartisan. It's bipartisan because the Republicans are a viable alternative, you see? They're really working for you, America. Okay. Will reduce internet costs for millions of Americans by up to $30. Families that qualify can get credit toward their monthly bill, which could mean some families will pay nothing. The importance of internet access became even more important during the pandemic. Blah, blah, blah. Scottsville High School student so-and-so says, yeah, blah, blah. Wait, ow. Oh, boy, here he comes again. For more information of how to qualify, visit this website. and it's the White House website, as part of the bipartisan infrastructure law. Shut the fuck up. Why are you saying that? Excuse my language. I'm pissed tonight. Right on the White House site, part of the... See, because they want to tout how bipartisan they are. You think if and when the fascists finally stick the shiv into Lady Liberty's eyes, and they tout some bullshit on the website that they control despite receiving fewer votes, you think they're going to talk about bipartisanship anywhere? Will there be any mention of bipartisan? You know, it's like Democrats are beaten dogs, but beaten dogs, that's a wrong analogy. That's a wrong comparison, because beaten dogs bite back. You know? I don't know what they are. The Democrats are like worms. Bipartisan. Oh, well, you got to give those Republicans credit, right? They really are working for the American people. Fucking bastards. Bipartisan infrastructure law. President Biden and Vice President Harris worked with Democrats, Republicans, and independents. Isn't that amazing? You mean Republicans actually care, and they can work with for the American people. Can you believe it? To create the Affordable Connectivity Program, which provides eligible households $30 a month off their internet bills to deliver maximum cost savings to families. Now, can anybody tell me why this kind of annoys the fuck out of me? Not just the bipartisan part. Because, yet again, I'll explain. I'll jump to the chase in case you missed it. It's more... I got mine. It's more opportunity for the Republicans, and just in general, for the American people to be at each other's throats. You know? Oh, you pay $0 for your internet when I got to pay fucking $75 a month? You see what they do? I'm just saying, that's not even a real thing. I'm just giving an analogy. This is why we're going to fail, why the country will fail. And this is why FDR created socialist security to belong to everyone. Because it couldn't be vilified. It belonged to the American people. And that's why it's the most successful government program in this sad, dying empire. I don't even know. This sad, dying country's history, short history. Every time. Every time we turn around, it's another, I got mine. If you're poor, you can, you'll get free internet. That's why the middle class, so-called, what's left of it, even though the middle class is below 50% of the population, and the American people can't save $400, even though they all think they're middle class. If you ask most working suckers, they'll say they're middle class, even though it's bullshit. That's another thing. Democrats fail at messaging. But, it's another way to keep people divided and kicking down. The resentments. Keep the resentments going. Because there could be no unity. What is the problem? Of course, this is the reason it sucks is because it is bipartisan. You see, I guess the whole argument is, well, you can't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. But this is what kills the country. And they'll like, well, we have to pass something and help some people at least. But this is the vicious cycle of decline. Instead, what the Democrats should go out and message that, we're a country, this is a great so-called country, right? We're the richest country on earth. But I don't know why we can't ensure that everyone has low-cost internet. The whole fucking country. But we can't do that because that's too small d democratic. That's too unifying. That's too general welfare. That's too much promoting the general welfare. You can't have that. You got to have, throw a bone to some of the people really on the balls of their ass. And then, what's the incentive then, right? This is what people will say. If I make more money, then I'll lose my internet, and then I'll have to pay, and I won't be able to get my health care anymore. They keep people in that cycle. That's how it is. That's how it keeps going. The cycle of poverty. And so you have those a little higher on the ladder can look down and say, oh, they get everything. I get nothing. And I've heard this from people who should know better. The suckers, people who are, call themselves Democrats and say, oh, I got to pay. I got to pay full fare. Why? Because I got to pay for poor people. I told you, my friend, talking about his health insurance. Oh, I got to pay. It's not cheap. Fucking more than people's mortgage. And I don't get any subsidies. My friend's like, I don't get any subsidies. I got to pay full fare because I have to pay for the poor people too. This is exactly what he said. But not with Nobel oblige. I can't say that word. But with resentment. But that's the point. That is the point. That's the scam. It's part of the game. So yeah, good going, Democrats. You got your bipartisan infrastructure. You got your bipartisan affordable connectivity program. Good going. Good going, suckers. It's like FDR taught you nothing? God, if FDR didn't create socialist security to belong to everyone, where would it be today? It would already be destroyed. That it would already be phased out. That Republicans want to do, sunset it. This pisses me off, man. Oh, good. It's great. Learn how President Biden is reducing the cost of high-speed internet and find out if you qualify. Well, you know what? We should all qualify just by virtue of our citizenship. Why do these fucking, private internet companies who have monopolies, they're supposed to give back? Why should they reap the buku bucks? Because some their CEOs got to get paid, bitch. They're not providing a service and reaping a modest gain, right? I mean, none of that. None of hard-earned, fair wages or fair recompense for services rendered. None of that. They want rapacious wealth. You can't feed the greed if you provide a service that belongs to everybody. by right of citizenship. You know, you only get it if you're on the balls of your ass, and that means you got to be stripped of everything. Not, I mean, in this dying, sick country, I wish, honestly, I fucking wish I didn't see the truth. You know, I really do. I wish. If I had to take the red pill, I'd say, give me that blue pill. Put me back in the matrix. I want to relax a little bit. But nobody, who does anybody even see this? I don't know. Some people, I guess. They were like, oh, this is great. I'm sure other liberal talk shows will be like, oh, wonderful. To me, it's an example of the fact that we're hopeless. This is a step back, but it's not a step in the right direction. President Biden should be out there saying no one should pay this rapacious, filthy, goddamn, out of control, prices for internet that is now a public goddamn utility. So because of that, we're going to make sure that every American has an affordable internet access. Not just, I mean, if you qualify. You qualify by birthright, right? In a functioning society. In other countries, they don't pay the amount of money that we pay for internet access. That's for sure. We pay the most. Of course we do. In all of the Western so-called damn democracies. Of course we do, because we're dumb. And we exist to just funnel money into the disgusting open mouths of the rapacious 1% who are never sated. I'm sick of it, man. Jesus Christ. What? Errol Thomas says, I think you should invite Kathy Griffin on your show so we can all hear about what Republic clowns were trying to do to her. Yeah, I wish she would come on my show. I don't know. I can't take another rejection, Errol. I've had enough. Am I wrong here? No, I'm not. Of course I'm not. Look, he's being nice, but you're in the way of the keyboard. Oh, he's moving. All night. This is what I hear. What is it with you? What is it? Will you? I gotta get you on some meds. God help us. Let me see. I want to find this out. How much does internet cost in France? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I know it's not all over. When I know people from other places, believe it or not. And, they tell me things. Like how dumb we are. Oh, look, what France has taught me. Americans are suckers who have themselves to blame for crappy broadband. This is an article from 2014, though, but yeah, this is because we're dumb. All right, shut up and fuck it off. Hey. You hear him? He's just like, just go lay down. I'm sick of your shit. When did you become such a bitch? This is how all my relationships end. But we're not going anywhere. Maybe you're going back to North Shore. You want to go back to North Shore? All right, sit down. Be nice. Sit down. I'm sick of it. Oh my God. I can't handle it. I'm going to tell you something about my new life in France, and then you are going to weep. Ready? Our family moved to Toulouse, France, in late August after living in the San Francisco Bay Area for 15 years. We lived in a lovely 2-bedroom house in North Oakland. All right. We were mostly happy Comcast customers. We subscribed to Comcast broadband, which gave us about 25 megabytes download speed for $85 a month. Well, remember, this is a 2014 article. Ow, my neck. We didn't have cable or a home telephone. For mobile, we had 2 iPhones on AT&T's network for $144 a month. We had 450 minutes of calling time. Remember that? Not including nights and weekends. My wife's phone had 2 gigabytes of data on each, while mine had a grandfathered unlimited plan. At various times, I tried to switch from Comcast, but the DSL speeds offered by rival services were just too slow. In total, we were paying roughly $229 a month. Now we live in the city of, in the center city of Toulouse, France, in an apartment where I'm a broadband customer of a company called Numericable. Here's what I get. For $63 a month, 100 megabytes download speed, 250 cable channels, a home telephone with unlimited international calling, a mobile phone that includes unlimited minutes, 3 gigabytes of data each month, and the only trade-off was losing my unlimited AT&T plan. Separately, I'm getting ready to sign my wife up for a $20 a month mobile plan, which is free, then comes with unlimited calling and 3 gigabytes of data. So our telecom costs here will be $83 a month. What's up? About a third of the cost in the United States for services that are astronomically superior. Trust me when I say that you don't know how truly awful things are in the U.S. when it comes to broadband. He puts the qualifier in until you leave. Not only have I experienced this, but I'm reminded of it again recently with this story in the New York Times called "Why Has the U.S. Fallen Behind in Internet Speed and Affordability?" Oh, why? Because we're the greatest country that God ever created. I'm sick of it. The problem is that in current U.S. economic policies, politics, and cultures, Americans have been told that they have a choice. Either you believe in government regulation or you believe in free markets. Government intervention is the enemy of innovation and competition. It's a choice that is as simple as it's false. Unfortunately, the gullible American public has swallowed it whole. In France and much of Europe has developed a far more nuanced view of how markets and governments relate to each other. And as the Times story notes, that is in large measure due to the work of an economist from the Toulouse School of Economics who won the Nobel Prize, Jean Tirole. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. Okay, whatever. According to his work is complex. He has had a big influence on European governments' view of regulation. One important message is that it's a big mistake to take an ideological approach to regulation. Well, that's the fucking Republican Party, right? All regulation is bad, right? You know, you're just supposed to let corporations dump their poisonous waste wherever the fuck they want, because all regulation is bad. God, I hate them. God, why did you do this to me, God? In the case of France Telecom, the French government sets strict rules for the sharing and blah blah blah, and infrastructure. And it enforces these rules. Oh boy, here comes the fucking producer again. I just don't have the patience tonight. I'm sorry. And my neck hurts. I'm cranky. I'm crabby. I fed you. What do you want? Besides to bite me and treat me like shit, like every other relationship. Huh? I know. I'm being mean. Sit down. Sit. What do you want? What is it, honey? What is it? Oh, boy. The real problem is that the average American has bought into this false choice, government versus competition, and so they are not going to insist on new regulations and stronger enforcement that might lead to more competition. Instead, expect that for years to come, you'll continue to overpay for crappy broadband. This is the price you pay for being suckers. And it's a big one. Yeah, we are. That's what I'm saying. How much more, right? How much longer do we take it? We'll take it until, I don't know, we stop taking it. But it doesn't stop until the American people stop being divided and stupid, divided by these divisive policies. So when Democrats start lamenting how divided we are, and we'll hear it, well, the Republicans cry those crocodile tears too. But when Democrats do it, you say, well, stop dividing us with your divisive policies. Like, what is this shit? You can't use government, the government that our relatives, founders, so many fought, bled, and died to entrust to us, to the government that is constitutionally mandated to promote the general welfare. You can't use that to ensure that we have ready access and decent access to a public utility without being fleeced by some fuckers who just want us to be, I don't know, we're just like Soylent Green. Just churn it out. Churn out profit for the few on the backs of the many. And they'll keep waving their flags at us, right? Wave that flag, sucker. Tie it around your eyes while you're at it. Help. My neck hurts. What time is it? Oh, I didn't even start the show until like 9. And then we we had a break because goddamn Ecamm crapped out. I want to go. The last thing I want to talk about, but I think this is gonna be a lot. Is I mean, I didn't even plan on talking about that broadband thing, but it's just annoying to me. Anybody else? Am I wrong here? Let me know. But right before I started the show, I saw that Steve Schmidt went after, well, he took Meghan McCain to school, I guess. And I didn't really get a chance to read it, so I thought maybe it would be fun to read it together. So, let's see. Steve Schmidt. Well, Steve Schmidt knows Meghan McCain. He knows because he was part of John McCain's presidential campaign and was, of course, now he's not a Republican anymore because obviously he's not a traitor or a dupe or a moron. But he, in my opinion, is partly responsible for Trump because he's instrumental in giving us Sarah Palin, in propelling Palin to the national stage. This unfit sociopath, another unfit sociopath, who, in Steve Schmidt's own words, was not just that she was unfit, and still is. She's unfit, she's unqualified, but she is mean. That's what he said. She's mean. That's what they all have in common. Give it all of them. Don't let their fake ass crocodile tears about life fool you. Or I know it doesn't. They're so full of shit. It's like it stinks up the whole country. The stench. But she's mean like the rest of them. Just like, that's Alito. That's Justice Uncle Clarence. That's Amy Coney resting bitch face. That's Lauren Band from the bowling alley Bolbert and Marjorie Perjury Trader Green. They're all mean. They're all, owning the libs. This is another thing that Democrats fall down on the job. Owning the libs. If you're motivated, what am I saying? Motivated. Why can't I talk? What is motivated? If you're motivated, I know there were two words that were trying to come out. If you're motivated by owning or triggering your fellow Americans, you're a goddamn traitor. You're not a patriot. What is so hard about that, Democrats? Take it. It's yours. Run with it. God. So, Steve Schmidt and Meghan McCain apparently had, I guess, some words or something. Let me see if I can find a good one. Where is this? Meghan McCain ripped as rotten, entitled, and spoiled by her dad's former advisor, Steve Schmidt. Yeah. And she has no business being anywhere near any platform. You know what I mean? To me, of course, Meghan McCain supplies endless fodder for this show. But because she's emblematic of the rot. What does she bring to the table? What does she offer? She brings nothing. She does nothing but amplify lies. She's dumb. She is impervious to fact. You know, she's a cultist because she thinks being a Republican is her identity. You know what I mean? Because she's got no other identity. Also, that's what's tedious about her. She's that much of a basic bitch that it has no creativity, has no personality. Her personality is she's a Republican. You know what I mean? That's what she thinks. That's why she calls her daughter Liberty. That's what she named her daughter? Liberty. Because again, her daughter is not a human. Her daughter is part of the brand. Liberty. Why don't you call her stars and flags? Call her flag. Call her eagle. Freedom. Liberty. If you had, maybe she has a son, or next time she has another child, what would she call him? You know it will be somehow tediously related to a faux patriotism that is, I don't know, it's all about style. Not even style. It's about basic bitch style. But because the substance of patriotism is beyond her and them. This is a faux patriotism that doesn't give a shit about anybody. That's not patriotism. You know? Leaving people behind isn't patriotism. That's why that stupid broadband bill is part of the problem. You know, that's how Democrats could sell things like socialist security, you know, not just social, you know, but for example, the broadband. We are the party of FDR. We don't leave people behind. FDR created socialist security to belong to everyone. That's why we want to make sure everybody has broadband. So no damn politician can scrap it. Use FDR's words. You know, reach back into history, your own history. But they won't. They'll go quoting Reagan because they want to be all bipartisan. I'm exhausted from life. So, anyway, getting back to this article. Sarah Palin has no business ever holding a position of public trust, ever. The senior campaign strategist for John McCain in 2008 also said. And the fact is, she's running again. The basic bitch. Congratulations, Steve Schmidt. You created a monster. But that monster, if that monster never existed, we would not have Trump. You know what I mean? Imagine when, see, the thing is, the Republicans, this is how we know Republicans hate America, and it's all about politics and power to them. So when they cry about, politics, Democrats are playing politics, you know, they're full of it. Republicans are full of shit. Because it's all politics. That's why Steve Schmidt picked Sarah Palin. Because she ticked off different boxes. They picked her before they even met her. They just went to Wasilla to seal the deal. She ticked off the boxes. You know, she was a governor of some shithole backwater town. She's pro-life, meaning she hates life, but yeah. What else? She's a woman. That's the thing. Then they needed to make the Republicans seem like they had a big tent. The Republican big tent is, everybody's under the big tent. And all all those who know their place, you know. If you know your place, you're welcome in the Big Ten. That's why there's a lot of white closet cases. Male, pudgy, pasty closet cases. So they picked her, and when it wasn't long. It didn't take long for them after they picked her to realize, oops, oopsie, doopsie, we fucked up, and this bitch is broken. She's a broke ass sicko. She's a sociopath. She's not nice. She's a narcissist. Something wrong. That's why she's she's pro-life. Like, Meghan McCain is a Republican. That's her identity, I guess. Same thing for Sarah Palin. And it works in her favor. I think, like, when her child has Down syndrome. So that's part of her brand. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm going out on a limb here, but Sarah Palin, without a Sarah Palin, there would be no Trump. That's for sure. But imagine if Steve Schmidt realized, they all realized pretty soon after they made the mistake that Sarah Palin was unfit. And she was unfit to attend a drunken house party in Wasilla, much less lead a modern nation. And imagine if the maverick McCain went out and said, you know what, I made a goddamn mistake here. This bitch is broke. This bitch is, boo-boo, cuckoo. She's cracked. She ain't fit, honey. She don't know. She reads all of them. What? She doesn't know. She don't know nothing. She don't know what she don't know. But she thinks she knows, and she's arrogant. She's got this unearned arrogance that's only manifested by sociopaths. So I'm not comfortable making this sick ass bitch my vice president because I'm a maverick, right? And Steve Schmidt would be like, yes, boss. Yeah, we are not just mavericks, we're patriots. And we don't want to put some unfit anybody anywhere near the White House because we love America. I wouldn't put people who are unfit to watch my cats in charge of them. If I ever get out of the tri-state area. So why would we do it to our country we pretend to love? Right? But Steve Schmidt wanted power. He wanted that power and that money. I appreciate his conversion, but let's get real. Well, at least he's speaking out now. But he created the monster. He helped. Steve Schmidt, a former campaign advisor to John McCain, unleashed a torrent of tweets about Meghan McCain on Saturday, saying that her father was appalled and embarrassed by her conduct on the campaign trail, which Schmidt described as the most rotten, entitled, spoiled, cruel, mean, and bullying behavior I ever witnessed. Well, she fits right in. The trouble began after the Washington Examiner reported that Meghan McCain's memoir, Bad Republican, had only sold 244 copies since its April release. Schmidt reacted to the news by remembering the time he kicked McCain off of a plane during the 2008 John McCain. Wait. Am I saying this correctly? Schmidt reacted to the news by remembering the time he kicked McCain off a plane during the 2008 John McCain due to her I think they missed a word there. 2008 John McCain campaign due to her outrageous behavior. So he tweets, I can explain this. When I kicked Meghan McCain off the 2008 McCain plane because of her outrageous behavior, I talked to her mom and explained what was happening and why. Cindy got weepy and said, I just want to say I raised 2 good sons. And I said, everyone knows you did. Yeah, you don't see the sons, right? They're probably, maybe they're not as filthy as her and dumb. I don't know. Well, of course, they're probably not as dumb. I have no idea. If they're Republicans or not, they probably are, which makes them suspects, but okay. McCain appeared to retaliate by liking a reply that accused Schmidt of running a pedo racket. Oh, God. Oh, God. These, you see? By doing that, she proves him right. This is how much these Republicans are unfit. Everybody's a pedo. Except them, the pedos. McCain has been trying... Wait. Meghan McCain has been trying to have a conversation with me for almost 14 years, Schmidt wrote on Saturday afternoon. Once again, today, she called me a pedophile, which it is slander. It is disgusting. It is untrue. And it says everything about her. Exactly. Here she is liking a tweet of a far-right liar and piece of filth. He added that after 14 years of abuse and attacks, today is the day I have decided to respond. What followed was an 11-part Twitter series recounting McCain's behavior through the 2008 campaign. Many of the tweets characterized her as a raging, screaming crying baby, despite her being in her mid-20s at the time. Let's read these tweets. It's gonna be fun. To read these tweets. Yeah, she. Anybody surprised? And then she is a crybaby, though. I don't mind people crying when there's reason. Like I cry all the time when I weep for this country. But when you're an entitled little brat who doesn't know what you don't know, and you think that you know by osmosis, that's sick. You know, you're sick. Bad Republican. You're not a Republican. You're just a narcissist who doesn't know what the hell you're talking about. Who cares about her? Yeah, I don't understand why she has a platform at all. But that's what I mean. That's why the country sucks. And it's, well, why don't you leave it? I don't know. Grandma came here. Hey, I wore the uniform of this country. I had some hopes. It's very sad, really. You know what? Actually, should I talk about it? Well, I've been cleaning I've been doing some spring cleaning, and I came across there's a manual, what is it? Basic, IAT, soldiers, basic manual of soldiers' tasks. I can't remember what it's called. And then I was looking through it and going down memory lane, and I forgot. Right at the top, right in the first section of it, it was history of the Army, and there was a whole part about the Newburgh conspiracy, about George Washington, how George Washington, and so the Army felt that it was necessary for every soldier to understand that the United States has, is different, because unlike democratic republics that have failed republics throughout history, our military owes allegiance to civilian authority and the Constitution, and who owe allegiance to the Constitution. And I found that touching, frankly, and also sad, given where we are, where we have outright traitors like Trump trying to get back into office and who are attacking democracies all over the globe, at home and abroad, who praise dictators, and for a fact that George Washington would, what would he say about Trump, about Republicans? They can't even live up to a friggin' basic training manual. That's what they make me sick. Where is it? See? I knocked my headset out. See, right here. The Newburgh Conspiracy. Following the victory at Yorktown in 1781, the Continental Army set up camp at Newburgh, New York, to wait for peace with Great Britain. The central government formed under the Articles of Confederation proved weak and unwilling to supply the army properly or even pay the soldiers who had won the war for independence. After months of waiting, many officers, angry and impatient, suggested that the army march on the seat of government in Philadelphia and force Congress to meet the army's demands. One colonel even suggested that General Washington become King George I. Upon hearing this, General Washington assembled his officers and publicly and emphatically rejected the suggestion. He believed that seizing power by force would have destroyed everything for which the Revolutionary War had been fought. By this action, General Washington firmly established an enduring precedent. America's armed forces are subordinate to civilian authority and serve the democratic principles that are enshrined in our Constitution. His actions demonstrated the loyalty to country that America's army must maintain in order to protect the freedom enjoyed by all Americans. And then it says right underneath, duty. Fulfill your obligations. I don't even know what to say. These fucking traitors. You understand? These scums who stormed the Capitol, who cheered them on, who conspired with them. And then, although the ones who were appalled, who stuck their filthy Trump fingers in the air, Trump, the ones that they just pulled out of Trump's ass and saw which way the wind was blowing. For the traitors that they want to vote for them. And they continued the lie. And now here they are. I mean, that's just one day in the history of Republican assaults on freedom, on democracy. Ugh. And, you know, it didn't start with Trump. All right, let's read these tweets. My daughter, here we go. Steve Schmidt says, so he starts with, I can explain this. When I kicked Meghan McCain off the 2008, McCain plane because of her outrageous behavior, I talked to her mom and explained what was happening and why. Cindy got weepy and said, I just want to say I raised two good sons. And I said, everyone knows you did. So number 2, my daughter was 3 at the time, and I made a promise to myself that I would make sure that my number 1 priority in life would be raising a child that never acted like Meghan McCain. A spoiled, rotten, entitled bully. That's who they are. They're all that. She is graduating from high school next week. Mission achieved. Everyone who has ever worked with Meghan McCain, from ABC, The View, Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and 1,000 others, have seen the unfiltered version of what the whole of America has seen. That's why the nation of 330 million, a nation of 330 million, 247 have bought it. Nothing new to learn. Let's see. Where's the rest of these tweets? I think they got lost in the sauce. Yeah, there's so many more. How come I can't find them? All right, we'll read them from here. 11. The tantrums were beyond anything I've ever witnessed from any other human being, Schmidt wrote. They were epic meltdowns that would test the range of Meryl Streep, Kate Winslet, Jodie Foster, and Anne Hathaway on their best days. Raging, screaming, crying at the at the staff, at the makeup people, at Secret Service. As Schmidt tells it, he was the first adult who ever said no to McCain, and he took it upon himself to discipline her. It was my job to confront it, and I did. He continued, I talked to 24-year-old Meghan McCain the way an adult should have talked to Trump kids. I talked to her the way a retired USMC 4-star general failed to do in the White House with Ivanka, Jared, and Jr. He added, saying, they are all the same people. When Schmidt told her that she was unimportant and that everything around her had nothing to do with her and that she was privileged and lucky and should be grateful, McCain doubled down. She told me and anyone else who would listen in response, do you know who the fuck my dad is? You fucking dumb bitch. Do you know who my dad is? A garbage man, all right, who married a nun, bitch. Now that takes some game, mofo. It was the miserable anthem of total chaos that was Meghan McCain. That was the McCain campaign, excuse me. It never stopped until one day when I said enough. In a blistering final statement, he framed McCain as an unaccomplished, spoiled disgrace to her family's legacy. Nailed it. That's true. That's a good word. She has rejected her family's history of service for a shallow and purposeless celebrity where she trades on a famous name like a fourth-generation wannabe clipping coupons while pretending to be an heir. Very nice. That is true. Where's the rest of these tweets, man? Oh, I lost it. Here we go. Okay. After 14 years of abuse and attacks, today is the day I've decided to respond. I'm happy to keep the story going after this thread. It only gets better. Yes. See, he attaches a screenshot of the tweet that Meghan McCain liked. So it says, Meghan McCain liked a reply to your tweet, which this is the thing she liked. Every day you somehow find a way to make yourself look like an even bigger piece of shit than the day before, which is actually incredible considering you spent the Trump presidency running a pedo racket. God. Yeah, everybody's a pedo. Now, just like the closet cases who are gay and lack the courage to live authentic lives, these fuckers calling everybody a pedo, they're the pedos. Do you know what I mean? They're the ones. They got stuff to hide. It's like, look over there, a pedo, while they're giving Josh Duggar a run for his money. They're trying to beat Josh Duggar to the title of most downloaded images of raped children. I was the first adult. Yes, I read this. Okay. Let's read this, though. Again. Let's read it again. Why not? I was the first adult that Meghan McCain ever encountered that she heard the word no from. I told her she was unimportant and that the presidential election was not about her. I left her on the tarmac when she didn't make the plane because I explained to her the 5,000 people who were waiting for her father to speak and took the time to do it deserve to have him show up on time. Oh, don't you know who I am? I mean, my father is. That was the way John McCain saw it. He was appalled by Meghan McCain's conduct on the campaign, appalled and embarrassed. The tantrums were beyond anything I've ever witnessed from any other human being. And like we read it, but let's read it again. They were epic meltdowns that would test the range of Meryl Streep, Kate Winslet, Jodie Foster, and Anne Hathaway on their best days. Raging, screaming, crying at the staff, at the makeup people, at Secret Service. Without any doubt, it was the most rotten, entitled, spoiled, cruel, mean, bullying behavior I've ever witnessed. It was my job to confront it, and I did. I talked to 24-year-old Meghan McCain the way an adult should have talked to the Trump kids, blah, 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 blah. Yes, I know. I'm talking to you now. They are all the same people. I told her that she was unimportant and that everything around her had nothing to do with her. I told her she was privileged and lucky and should be grateful. And she told me, and anyone else who would listen, in response, do you know who the fuck my dad is? It was the miserable anthem of the total chaos that was the McCain campaign. And it never stopped. Until one day when I said, enough. McCain is a bully. Entitled, unaccomplished, spoiled, mean. She has rejected her family's history of service for a shallow and purposeless celebrity where she trades on famous name like a fourth-generation wannabe, clipping coupons, pretending to be an heir. I was a volunteer for John McCain. He called me when that campaign went belly up. Everyone quit, and he called and asked for my help, and I never asked him for a dime. I never took a dime. I left my 3-year-old for a year and did everything I could for John McCain. Well, you also gave us Sarah Palin. He was the only person I ever worked for who put in a position where I became involved. Wait. He was the only person I ever worked for who put in a position where I became involved in a public lie. When that campaign ended, I made a vow that would never happen again, and it hasn't. What's the public lie? That Meghan McCain is a dirtbag? Is an unaccomplished POS, and people, why anybody would give her any attention is says more about them than it does about her. Right? Where are we? Who am I? Junior, who are you? Say hello to everybody. You hear him purring? He's a purr machine. Purr for everybody. All right. Listen, I have more stories to do, but my neck hurts, my soul hurts, my heart hurts, my eyes hurt, and I need to go get unconscious. Right, exactly. Paradieu on the chat. When you start seeing pedophiles everywhere, it may be time to turn yourself in. Yes. That is true. All Republican politicians are spoiled rich kids, says Richard W. Yep, that is so true. Unentitled, unaccomplished, greed-centered scum who hate America. All right, listen up, guys. What are we going to do? We're going to meet back here, right? On Friday. Maybe the producer will be locked in the bedroom because he's a pain in my ass. And maybe, I don't know. I probably won't. I was going to say maybe I'll be in a better mood, but no. Chances of that are slim to none. And I don't know. It's very depressing. All right. I'll keep petting you. I'm doing it. Yeah. Yes, you are cute when you're not being a brat like Meghan. He's like Meghan McCain now. He's the Meghan McCain of cats. No, you're not. You have more accomplishments. Thank you all. All right, listen up, guys. Listen. Become a patron, right, Junior? Shouldn't they become patrons? What do you think? Patrons? No? You quiet now, suddenly? Patrons? We got no patrons this week. Nobody became a patron. I know, it's very upsetting. But that's why I didn't do a show on Tuesday. Because I was sulking. I'm only kidding. All right. I got to go take some aspirin or something. My neck is killing me. I don't know. I think I pulled a muscle. I don't know. I actually have something wrong with my neck. They told me. I have like C whatever bulging discs from when I was in a car accident. I actually broke my neck in a car accident. That's another story for another day. And, yeah, maybe because I'm getting old, it's like bothering me. No, but, all right, whatever. It lets me know I'm still alive. Guys. We will win, right? Because good, you're not stepping on that. We are on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy, right, Junior? My name is Tara Devlin. This is the producer, Tara Jr. I know. And I will see you Friday night.